Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gemma and this is our second episode in Prehistoric Kingdom. So I'm actually building in our new park, which I just started last week. This is called Alpha Kingdom, which, well, because it's the alpha build. You may notice that I sound a bit nasally. That's because I'm currently got the cold at the moment, which is not great. But it's just one of those things. Having a small child that does love to bring back bugs from all the nurseries, and yeah, it's just one of those things. So I was going to put off doing the voiceover for this, and then I just thought, you know what, I have the cold, it is life. So yeah, I do apologise that I might sound a little bit under the weather, and that's just because I am feeling a bit under the weather. But yeah, we're back in Prehistoric Kingdom. I'm trying to smash these out pretty fast, to be honest. With the beta, you know, lurking its little wee head, I just thought we'll just come back in and build for the Microraptors. So this is exactly what this is for. So I'm building an aviary here. So you can see here, you know, the classic dome shape that you start off with, and then we're putting in a door at the back. This is for the keepers. So a little bit of facts about the Microraptor, because I was really interested with these little dudes. I think they're pretty awesome. So what I've discovered is that there's over 300 Microraptor fossils that have been found. A lot of people think that these are birds, but they're not. They're actually dinosaurs, which make them a theropod. Even though that they do, I'm going to use the word fly, even though they can't, they're not like powered flyers. They soar, or as Buzz Lightyear would say, falling in style.
Hey, Buzz! You're flying!
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
So yeah, they're really interesting little guys. Their name actually means small thief or tiny plunderer, which I thought was pretty cool. I've been trying to learn about the dinosaurs that we're getting in Prehistoric Kingdom. So for this one, I actually watched about 8 YouTube videos about the Microraptor, and then I was like reading a bunch of stuff as well. And they have been found in China, well, what is now China, in forests. So quite dense forest areas, and they weren't, like I said, they weren't very good flyers. So what they would do is they would like scurry up a tree, and then they would just like soar from tree to tree. If they did get on down to the forest floor, they would walk, but they're not very elegant walkers, should we say. Interesting to find these kind of like information out. In the videos that I did watch, there was information about what they were eating. So in the fossils, some of them discovered that they would eat small, like gecko, well, what would have been a gecko. There's also been fish also discovered that they ate, which they're kind of wondering like how they could have ate the fish, because if you're not a very good flyer, then you can't exactly like soar over water and dive deep into the water and pick up fish. But you know, they might have been like scavengers as well. If there was like a fish carcass at the side, then you know, why would you not eat it if you were hungry? So yeah, really interesting information about these guys. So yeah, I'm just basically building their habitat here. I wanted it to be kind of a walkthrough, so we do have this plank, and then just putting in loads of like rocks, and I've tried to make it really lush with foliage just because of them living in kind of dense forests. So I thought we would go with that as a theme here. So yeah, lots of foliage, lots of trees. We've got a kind of mixed match of trees here. So we've got these ones here which are kind of more lush. I think these are elm, don't quote me on that. And then I've tried to include in some dead trees as well, just so the raptors, the Microraptors, can swoop from each tree, even though that they don't, because they're on a looped animation. But yeah, it's just, I was trying to make it look full basically. And I kind of did struggle a little bit just with the height of the aviary. Sometimes the trees would be poking out of the top, which kind of would happen anyway. You know, these trees would grow in this environment, and you know, someone would either have to come down and trim the trees, or they would just like poke out of the mesh. But then I don't want the mesh to then break, because then the Microraptors could possibly like climb up the mesh and escape that way, just because I know they're not very good flyers. So I was thinking about things like that. So this is why there is trees in the habitat. It's just not very lush and full. So this is why I try to use all the ground cover plants. And then later on you'll see me making the outside of it with the brush tool, with the tree brush tool. So it kind of gives you this like enclosed forest area. It just not necessarily is within the habitat. It's more so outside. It's in a forest, but you'll see that a little bit later on. So yeah, this is me just finishing off the habitat itself. I hope you guys really do enjoy this series. I've been absolutely loving building in Prehistoric Kingdom. I don't necessarily think that there would be this kind of like pond style area, but it's kind of just like a nice kind of like zened out area that the Microraptors can come chill out. I would imagine this whole environment being pretty like hot and quite cozy. I just recently visited a butterfly house, and one of my days, those places are so warm, and there was like little birds scurrying about as well. So this is kind of like where some of the inspiration was taken from, but not necessarily all of it. And then this is me just adding in some of the walkway, what are these called? Barriers? So our guests don't fall into the Microraptor kind of enclosure. Yeah, so we're just fixing all this up. Now this is a sign. Now, it's a door actually, and what I've done is I turned it on its side, and then you'll see that I'm adding in this part here, which is kind of like a chalkboard effect. Now the bit at the bottom there, on the top bit, to me it looks like a handle, and I thought it'd be really cool if you had this like Microraptor thing, and then, you know, heading, then there was text here, and it was almost like you would have this skull here, which I'm building right now, and then you would bring the handle, which is on the bottom there, and you would like lift that up. It would be on like a bracket, and then underneath that it would then show you, you know, what the Microraptor would look like if when it does have skin on it. So it's that kind of like transaction between like the two, just to make it a bit more interactive for the kids. And then on the bottom bit, I would imagine that it would have all the information, like it was from China, and the weight and the height and all that kind of relative information. But yeah, this is me just making a Microraptor skull, which was pretty fun to do, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. It doesn't necessarily look fantastic, but I think I'm going to try and do that with all of the habitats. Try to make the skulls. I even tried to put in a little arm here, which does look kind of ridiculous, and it does go over the little handle that I was thinking of. So this is the outside of our Microraptor habitat, which I've just called it Microraptor Forest there. And then we'll go ahead and grab the brush tool just to give it that lush foliage that I was speaking about before, and then I will meet you guys in first person view. Okay guys, we are at the Microraptor Forest. So we've got a double lock door system here. So you come into the first door, and then obviously the second one here as well. And this is our aviary. So you can see here we've got 4 Microraptors in here. So there is 2 on either side. So there we've got one there, and then we've got one over at the side as well. And then up at the top here we've got our little sign with our little Microraptor illustration, so to speak. And then yeah, over on this side we do have our other Microraptors as well. So that is the other side. It's pretty basic habitat, to be honest. Up the top there you will see our monorail. I'm trying not to show that off, try not to give much of it away. You would have seen before on the outside I've put like loads of trees, just because in here I wanted it to make it look like a forest, but because of the size of these trees, they do kind of like poke out of the netting a little bit. So I did want to make it more of a forest. However, yeah, there's just not enough space for the trees. So that's why I thought I would like surround it in a forest. So that's why you've got the trees surrounding on the edges here. So we've got this kind of little lagoon bit that the Microraptors, if they're a little bit thirsty, they can come down and get a drink. And then I've put this like massive rock at the back here just so you cannot see the keeper's door at the back here. I was kind of considering that there should probably be a double lock system as well, just for the keepers coming in. However, I kind of feel like the public are a little bit more clumsy than like trained staff would be. So yeah, kind of debating that one, if this does need a double lock door system as well. But yeah, I don't know. Might do it, might just leave it. At this stage, to be honest, I'll probably just leave it. So yeah, let's take a look at some of our Microraptors. Here they are, just chilling out on their little wee branch there. So yeah, like I said before, that they do fly. Well, they do swoop from tree to tree. They're not powered flight birds, so you'll find that they will just go from like one side to the other. All these raptors here, Microraptors, are sleeping. From the latest dev post, that they have been working on the flight of the Microraptor, so it'll be really interesting to see how they are changing that from when we do get the update. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Like I say, if you have enjoyed this episode and you do like the series, I'd really appreciate if you could give it a thumbs up. If you've not already subscribed and want to see more from our Prehistoric Kingdom park here, then please do hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next one. So until then, take care.